Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. This video is about my official stance on the essence of racism, the highest form of racism, the most potent racism. The most potent form of racism is cheating me out of my right to lead. Let me explain. You'll see that I'm right and that there's no other way it could be. If a skinhead went up to Michael Jordan and said, "Hey boy," and Michael Jordan said to him, "Well, I'm Michael Jordan, not just some boy." He said, "Yeah, whatever. I don't know that," and he's playing stupid, right? And he wants to treat him like some kind of bag boy or something, some kind of slave. And Michael Jordan says, in that case, fuck you, and calls him the C word, the derogatory term for white people. Who's more racist? Is it Michael Jordan for using a racial slur? Or is it that skinhead for cheating him on such a profound level and denying him his rightful place in society, deny it to the best of his ability, and denying him that acknowledgement? Now that's just Michael Jordan, it's the basketball player. Okay? And I just illustrated definitively that that white person using the white man's scale and trying to play dumb is more racist than Michael Jordan's response. In fact, his response can be seen as a logical and human response that's fair. You can't come at somebody with racial animosity and racial unfairness with a universal scale, mind you, and then turn around and complain that they called you a name in response. That doesn't make sense. You should not be able to assault another race verbally. It's even called a verbal assault, without that race being able to fire back fair and square. And when I say assault, I mean assault unfairly, verbally. So can that white skinhead then turn around and say, "Hey, you ain't got to be all racist. This is how the white man plays it this day. This is how so many Jews play it, so many LGBT play it." They say, "Well, you don't have to say all that." Well, you took it there first. You said things that are clearly associated with racism past a certain point, not a misunderstanding. It was clearly deliberate. Just because it's commonly done, like people cheating me out of my right to lead, doesn't mean it's not racist. Now, when we're talking about the top martial artist ever possible, and it's so obvious that I'm even the son of a brain surgeon. When the son of a brain surgeon who's 6'4", who strikes at world record speed and puts it on record, challenges people and offers them $100 million if I'm compensated, $60,000 if I'm not, they get $50 just to show. And I beat all the challengers and I say, "Look, no one has ever done what I've done." And I show you the wordplay of Kuro Obi Black Belt pointing to my royal line and pointing to me, ultimately. And society is just like, "Well, how come no one's heard of you?" That's fucking racist. If I started calling them a racial slur, I'd be right. But you, as a different race, has now launched a verbal assault and assault by your actions against the essence of what it means to be black and African. The king heart, the heart of African, the king, who is also the king of all mankind, but you separated yourself from being a black African when your ancestors left Africa. Okay, and I'm not necessarily holding that against them. That's a story for another day. But I am holding against them that they now define themselves as another race, and they cheat me out of my right to lead. So if a black person doesn't like to be called an N-word because it signifies being demoted to the idea of something that's not important and called a name relative to what he is, how much more is it wrong to use the white man's scale to play stupid about the King of Kings, to deny him his rightful place, for attractive females to shun me? And you'd probably get some stupid white racist piece of shit saying he's twisting it. Then why won't you go point by point with me? If you don't understand that I'm right here, you are a stupid fuck. You are a dumbass. You lack intrapersonal and interpersonal intelligence. Do you understand what they're trying to say in the cartoons with Dick Dastardly and Gargamel and Lex Luthor? Do you even understand that? The type of insult that they have made, the kind of racial insult society is leveling at me, takes on cosmic proportions. And if I spent the rest of my life calling every race names with all of my heart to the best of my ability in the most strategic way, and they responded by saying, you don't have to say all that, God and I would smite their spirits like you wouldn't believe. And their souls would be destroyed thoroughly, like 189,000 people find out every day when those miserable lesser forms of life meet their fate and they pass over and go to hell. Now think about them trying to respond to this. No, I don't like what he said. Fail. Well, I'm a rich, arrogant white person. Fail. Meh, meh, meh. Fail.
No offense to anyone. It's a lot clearer it's a lot more clear when I put it that way. So what I perceive to be going on, and what the evidence basically makes clear is going on, is that basically there's Jews who are naturally gayish to some degree, right? It's basically all Jews. And they're getting people to express gayness, whether it comes naturally to their genes or not. And that makes it so they seem more thrown off or immature or less masculine. It makes it so they have less appeal, especially to what's left of attractive females. Now, the Jews who I perceive to be the most guilty are English Jews and German Jews, okay, in terms of the rich people doing it. And when we look at it, it doesn't make sense, right? As you see that person, right, you think of Jews as like white people, right? They're privileged. They have white privilege. Okay, in fact, I think there's at least one video out there of a white Jewish person talking about how he has white privilege. And so it's commonly understood, and the person is pretty famous, if I'm not mistaken. I'll put in the comments if I figure out who it is and what have you. So the spectrum kind of leads up to, as the idea at least, it leads up to an English person in a suit, okay, who looks less Jewish than the average Jewish person, and being Jewish is very stigmatized these days, no offense to anybody. And he looks kind of less, the type of person would look less gay. And so it is with martial arts, right? Now, because I made this extreme effort to make it clear that I'm not gay, and I've stood firm when everyone else won't, I bent over backwards to try to make sure that the pictures you see aren't gayish, but they're editing them, right? They put a little pink in that picture. They make it very hard for me to find a picture of me where they haven't edited it a certain way. Then after I post it, they edit it after the fact, right? But because of how I'm doing things, because of how I'm explaining it, that I'm not gay. Where you see that Taekwondo champion, right, or whatever, from the Olympics, he's very gay. He embraces it, right? And by doing that, he's thrown in the towel and he's admitted that he's been put beneath the modern day slave masters. And as such, he's tapped out of any martial competition. And in this way, I've won in more than one way. I've done the most effective martial art challenge in history. I've stood up to the oppressor. I won the character competition. I've won the debate, right? People are afraid to debate me. And more.